Hey, before we get rolling here today, you can help the Friedman Adventures cause. Help us to produce more content by purchasing some Friedman Adventures merchandise right now. Just go to embroiderycreations.net and purchase a hat, a shirt, or some other Friedman Adventures merchandise. Help us produce more content. Thanks for everything you do for Friedman Adventures, and we'll see you right here really soon. Hey, good Thursday morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Man, we've got a lot going on. We're going to go south of the border, talk a little bit about Cedros Island, the long-range scene in Sonata. We've got bluefin tuna still biting here in Southern California. We've got a little bit of halibut and white sea bass making a show, and great eating rockfish everywhere. And the Coronado Islands still looking pretty darn good. We'll delve into that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? Again, our hearts and prayers go out to anybody who's adversely affected by the hurricane that went into Florida. I'll be on a plane here shortly, heading to Orlando to see my son Patrick, his lovely wife, all the family members there, and of course, my new grandson, Finn. I can't wait to do it. And we will have Florida content for each and every one of you. We'll be doing quite a bit of fishing, so I'll bring you along for the ride. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it. Share these videos with a friend. And of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Tick that little bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. Appreciate you when you go to embroiderycreations.net and purchase some Friedman Adventures merchandise. That helps us produce more content. All my love to you for your great support. And don't forget, you can also follow us over there on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. So great to be with you all. A reminder that on Friday, they're going deep water cotton on board the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. You're going to want to jump on board that one. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. 805-676-3474. Go to venturasportfishing.com. Get on the Island Spirit tomorrow and do the deep water cod thing. That is going to be a lot of fun. And while we're on the subject of Ventura Sport Fishing, there's a great 2.5-day trip on the Endeavor, offshore tuna. Man, that is going to be a good one. Best weather months, the fish are biting, and it's with my dear friend Eddie Berrigan and his lovely daughter Bella. And man, I'll tell you, you won't meet two finer people on the face of this earth. So if you want to get on that trip, you can give Eddie a call at 805-754-0920. And a rare opportunity to fish the Endeavor limited load, only 18 anglers, 2.5-day bluefin tuna extravaganza. All right, let's jump into it with you. Let's go south of the border, just down to the island of Cedros, where it has been just spectacular yellowtail action. In fact, the morning briefing thumbnail is graced by Captain Javier down there at Cedros Sport Fishing, putting the wood to some awfully big yellows. There's a mix in terms of the size of fish, but the action has been full speed, so that is still going on after another spectacular Cedros Island yellowtail year. It doesn't get any better than that. Let's talk long range right now. Why not? The Red Rooster 3 with tremendous wahoo fishing. Great who fishing has been the rule for the long range boys fishing 8 to 10-day trips now out of San Diego. They run several hundred miles down the Baja coast, fish the Ridge, they fish Alejos Rocks, and several other zones, and it has been spectacular wahoo fishing. But in addition to that, the yellowfin tuna bite remains steady and excellent on mostly 30 to 70-pound fish, but some a little bit bigger than that also mixed in. It's been absolutely phenomenal fishing on all of that. The Independence just unloaded, and they came back from a fabulous trip where they had limits of wahoo, limits of yellowfin tuna, even caught a white sea bass when they went into the coast on their way home. Fabulous long-range fishing going on. I can't wait for our November trip on the Independence. We've been sold out for a year on that trip. That is going to be a good one. I'll see you on board. We're going to be shooting a really great video on that one. And don't forget, we have a trip in April on board the Independence, a 5-day trip. Would love you to join us. Give the Independence office a call today. Say hi to Paulina for me. So great long-range fishing continuing right now. We'll go out now to Tanner Cortez Bank. Max is running the horizon here this Thursday morning. Just rolled up on a nice school of bluefin tuna. He said, you know what? I think it's just not ready to bite here today. Maybe a little bit later in the day. That has been the situation. Been pretty nice weather, gorgeous weather for the most part, but those fish have been biting a little bit later in the afternoon, or I should say later in the morning. So we're hanging on and hoping that's going to be the case. The Tribute with an awesome catch. They had several fish over the 100-pound mark on the bluefin tuna. Some of that fish at night, the nighttime bite, if you get on the right school, can be fabulous. And then if you don't get on the right school, well, you can fill in the blank. You know, it's hit and miss. But, man, you get on that right one, and it's good. Those 350-gram to 500-gram lures, depending on wind and current and depth of the fish, have been working really, really well. 100-pound Spectra, 200-pound bite leader. We'll get it done for you and drop when the captain says to drop another 50 feet down at the depth where he's seeing them. He's seeing them at 240. You're dropping to basically 300 and coming up through the fish. That is the way to get it done. Daiwa SK lures have been super hot. Those HD lures from West Coast jiggers, exceptionally hot. And, of course, the Eddie bombs, basically a torpedo sinker with a hook on it. They've been really hot also. I think the most important thing, put color aside, put style of jig aside. The most important thing is getting to the fish as quick as possible. When that captain tells you to drop, you're Johnny on the spot. You're not in the galley goofing off and screwing around. You're out on deck working hard. Those are the guys who put consistently more fish on the boat. So keep that in mind. Daytime bites, sometimes it's a ripper and sometimes it's a plunker bite. More than likely, you're going to have that plunker kind of bite where you've got 1 to 3 fish going most of the time. Maybe you go dry for a little bit, but most of the time you've got that kind of a bite going on. And in that kind of a bite, you are fishing 25-pound fluorocarbon with a number 4 circle hook and a really super good hot bait. Yeah, I know. You're sick of me saying it, but it's so important. And I know people from around the world who are watching the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel need to know this. So make sure you do all of that. Now, that is not to say that if you can get a bite on 30 or even 40-pound, you're throwing that. You want to get a bite on the heaviest fluoro possible. That's what you want to do. So you have to gauge the intensity of the bite. Talk to a crew member. They're really on top of this. They know better than anybody. Or just be observant. Watch what is happening around you, and that will be the key to your success. Getting a little bit heavier line gives you that little bit of an edge, and, you know, those fish have teeth. They'll chew you off. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. The longer you're on them, the more likely something will go wrong. So keep that in mind. Thunderbird had some nice yellows and some bluefin tuna. Sometimes you drive around all day long, and sometimes you get the horseshoe like we did on the Amigo just the other day. Incidentally, that Amigo video should be coming out shortly. I'm going to be sitting in a couple of airports here, I think, here on my flight to Florida, on my way to see my new grandson, as well as produce more content for each and every one of you. So I'll be working on that video. I'll be working on it here before I depart today. So really good stuff going on. Again, it is a situation where you can have either a really slow trip or a fabulous trip. We'll keep you in mind, and hopefully you're going to crank some fish. By the way, you do get a good show on this fish from time to time. We had fish erupting around the Amigo at one point in time, and a couple of anglers were really quick with a Colt Sniper. Dave Giles was one of those guys, tossed a Colt Sniper off the bow, and he hung himself a nice bluefin tuna. So you can catch some of that stuff. Don't you dare throw an iron on these bluefin with anything less than 50 pounds. You definitely want to have some heavier string. All right, don't forget, if you're headed to Catalina Island, you want to do it on the El Patron. The El Patron is such a great little ride out of Long Beach sport fishing. Headed to Catalina Island where there's some nice, big, deep water cod biting right now. That is a great place for you to fish, and you can get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Get on the El Patron. The islands right now, Coronado Islands, well, there's a lot of yellows there, and there's a lot of boats there also. Man, we're going to get to the weekend, and it's going to be corroded with boat pressure. Part of it is it's kind of the only game in town right now. There's not really anything offshore going on in, say, a 60-mile range of San Diego, like down there around Ensenada. The offshore bite is real iffy right now. So everybody's at the Coronado Islands. It's yo-yo iron, and it's dropper loop fishing. Those fish, the yellowtail that is, are deep, mostly nice grade. Everything up over 12 pounds for the most part, and some of it up over 20. You even see some bigger fish than that mixed in. The San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing in, yeah, you guessed it, San Diego had 40 yellows yesterday. That is some darn good fall yellowtail fishing. The Mission Bell, 26 guys, 8 yellowtail yesterday. Scores are mixed. The Grande the other day with a huge day on the yellowtail. So the potential for a big catch looms large right now. I think the only thing to keep you from that is that boat pressure. It is substantial. You're fishing heavy line on this yo-yo iron. I would like to see you fish nothing less than 50, and you can even bump that up to 60, and you wouldn't break my heart. And on the bait fishing, it's going to be anywhere from 25, which is pretty darn light. If you have to do it to get a bite, you can do that. Choosing a hot bait is still really important when you're fishing that dropper loop rig, but also you can get a bite on 40 pound in a lot of cases, and that is my preference for you all. Again, you're on them too long, you're going to lose them. So get on those fish, and when you walk on board, make friends with a crew member. Talk to them. They'll give you the advice you need to take care of that crew member on your way home. So still good stuff going on down there at the Coronado Islands. San Clemente Island, occasional yellowtail, white sea bass, decent calico bass fishing. Was even a couple of barracuda that poked their noses in there, along with some calico fishing along the kelp. Good rock fishing. Catalina Island, really good rock fishing going on there. In fact, you're fishing here in Southern California in 300 feet or more right now. You have to fish deep water according to the regs that are in force right now. Paul Fanning from California Saltwater Fishing Channel on YouTube was recently out, and it was the Western Outdoor News San Pedro Showdown. He had a 12-pound lingcod, had the jackpot all locked up on board the Gale Force, was ready to celebrate. And then on the last drop, a couple of guys ended up with a 24-pound lingcod, knocking Paul out. And then a 26-pound lingcod, knocking the 24-pound lingcod guy off the west end of Catalina Island. There's some nice big fish out there. Always has been. I remember as a kid, commercial fishing, Freedom Rock, and some of that zone out there off the west end of Canton. It's good. Big fish and lots of them, and it's a great time of the year to be doing that. So really good big fish. And again, the El Patron, you can get on there. The Pursuit, 22nd Street. It's had some good fishing up there to the Channel Islands. We'll take you, and we'll mention there's good rock fishing at Santa Barbara. San Nicolas Island, you want big whitefish? You want big sheephead? You want big reds? You can get them all at San Nick right now. That's a great venue. And up there in the Channel Islands, when you run out of Ventura and you're fishing Santa Cruz or Anacapa or San Miguel, really great rock fishing going on. But the Aloha Spirit also had 15 halibut yesterday. Nice hit on the flatties. They continue their assault on the flatfish up there. You know, they're going to get an influx of squid up there here anytime, and you're going to see more halibut and sea bass as they will come in to exploit those squid nests. So that is something that we see in the future right now. Island Tack had a white sea bass, plenty of rockfish, and the Island Spirit headed out to go do that deep water cod tomorrow morning, 805-676-3474. Daniel Hadaway is the best kid on board with Daniel. Have some fun tomorrow for sure. We take you to Santa Barbara. Plenty of rockfish, excellent fishing out of Avila Beach and Morro Bay on the rockfish. San Francisco, California, with lots of rockfish, lingcod. There's still some halibut out there. It's been really great fishing up there in San Francisco. Tax problems, you want to call Tim Marquez. You certainly want to get that burden off of your back. And Tim is the man to make it happen. And for heating and or air conditioning needs, it's John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, let's talk local fishing. San Diego all the way up there to the Channel Islands, and it's mostly rockfish right now. You know, out of Dana Point and San Diego, sometimes you'll get into a little bit of a bass fight. A lot of times there's short fish right now. It's mostly rockfish, and fishing that deep water stuff provides you with some nice big fat rockfish. Perfect for your next fish taco feast. In terms of any kind of a surface bite, not really manifesting. There's some big bass being taken out of Marina del Rey on their twilight trips, but overall, folks, it has been a rockfish kind of a bite. There's sculpin, there's whitefish, there's sheephead, and then, of course, in the deep water, you get those denizens from the deep, and that is lots of fun, no question about that. So some pretty good stuff going on with regard to that. In the Southern California surf, I'll shoot you down to the corner, down there to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. Hey, and they got all your surf fishing needs taken care of down there, from tackle to bait and all the way up to big game fishing like marlin and bluefin tuna. They've got it all at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Say hi to the guys for Friedman Adventures. In the surf, water starting to cool down, and that means barred perch. Barred perch like the cooler water corvina and some other species like yellowfin croaker. You'll get occasional fish, and we'll get some warm spells here in the fall and even wintertime. December corvina are not out of the question, but overall you're going to start catching more and more barred perch. R.K. Toji is a great source of ours because he's always out hitting the surf, and he says all barred perch right now, fishing down there around Huntington Beach, where you can get some sand crabs around the pier and turn those in. Just some nice barred perch fishing, a mix of fish from fish that are small to some decent size barred perch in the SoCal surf right now. All right, my friends, I am off to Florida, but there will be a morning briefing every single morning, including tomorrow on Friday. I'll have that for you. And of course, if you haven't watched the Michael Folks video, you owe it to yourself to watch that, the history of sport fishing. I know you're going to love that. You could see us unload our catch from the Friedman Adventures trip on the Amigo, also on Facebook, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube. And of course, we'll continue to keep you in touch with all the very, very latest. Hey, please, if you get a chance, go to www.embroiderycreations.net and make a purchase of some Friedman Adventures merchandise today. It would mean the world to us. Have a great one. Take care, and I hope to see you really, really soon.